thought she would be a better fit as Ms. Baker. She was not happy about the change.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, because...
You don't want to look ugly.
No.
That's what it was. She just did not want to look that ugly. She doesn't realize it's a much meatier part.
Yeah, because that's the thing, because Reva obviously is more like, upper class looking, more whatever, but like...
She's only got like 4 scenes in the whole flick, where Miss Taya throughout
is like in the whole film.
Yeah.
And
like, it's a much...
great.
Yeah. It's a much meatier part. It's a better performance. Like, the performance is amazing. And if they actually tried to put Angela Bassett in that role, I don't think she could have done it.
I think Angela Bassett would have come off as too... Likeable. Chewy on the furniture, on the set, on the scenery.
I think she would have
went too over the. I mean, I'm basing the Vampire in Brooklyn on it,
which you can't judge based on that because nobody was good in that movie. But she is also she's too likable. She would have went big. Yes, but also she's way too likable. Yeah. I like her in everything. I can't picture her as a villain. Now I'm sure she's played one before, and I mean not to say that Ms. Baker is a villain or anything like that, but. You gotta have a, like, fuck you, bitch, kind of attitude to her, because she's kind of harsh and gruff, and that's sort of the point.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly everything that's going on makes her that way, but that's what you look at. I just don't think Angela Bassett could have pulled that off properly.
They both nailed their role.
They really did. It was definitely perfectly cast.
Yeah.
On the first day of shooting, John Singleton's agent called him and said, look, if the dailies suck, I can't save you. They will fire you.
Wow.
Well, again,
no fucking pressure.
First-time director, man.
Yeah.
Like they don't this is a big
and it's a first-time director on a movie that they didn't want him they didn't want him to be the director.
Exactly.
So
like this happens a lot. Yeah. This has happened quite a bit.
Where that first week, 2 weeks, you're walking on eggshells, like nothing go wrong.
They've done this with established directors as well. So like the fact that he got to make this movie and everything is just a testament to how much they wanted to make it eventually. But it was like, now that they wanted to make it, they're like, no, you gotta fucking make this right. Yeah. So, yeah, good on them. I'm sure, but I'm sure there's no way after the dailies they would have ever fucking canned him, because the film was shot in sequence, which never happens on a movie. That never happens. Never. But at the same time, they didn't have that many, what's it called? They didn't have that many places to go. Like... The locations were all kind of in the same general area where he grew up.
Most of the film takes place, I'd say, within 4, 5 square blocks.
Yeah, it's on the block, and that's where Singleton grew up. So
there's established shots elsewhere, like when Reva's not.
Yeah.
No, she's in L.A., but she's not in that neighborhood.
No, but they could have easily filmed it in that neighborhood and just faked it, which I'm sure they probably did. So
just a scene, just a setup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So John Singleton noted that if you watch the movie, the camera work gets better as the film goes on, and he finds his foothold as a director, saying that he was getting better at camera work, which he wrote into the script for when Furious is cutting Trey's hair, telling him, I'm not getting old, I'm just getting better. So, that makes sense.
Learning on the job.
Yeah. During the shoot, actual gang members threatened to shoot up the set. So they had the transportation department park vans in front of the production to shield them from the cars that would pass by during filming. During the scene where they were all hanging out in their cars on Crenshaw Boulevard, a member of the Bloods threatened to come back and shoot Ice Cube. To which John Singleton said, don't worry about it. Cube, overhearing this, said, no, we got to take this shit seriously. Because as they said in the documentary, is like, yeah, like a 14-year-old Blood could come up and be like, well, I'm the one who fucking shot Ice Cube and make a name for himself. So they're like, no, this could actually happen. Let's not fuck around. And then, so they did. And then, with all that going on, John never warned the actors about when the Uzi shots would be fired.
Hey, in that scene. Know what? That's how you get
their reactions. Their reactions are real.
That's how you get reactions.
It was the first and only take. Morris Chestnut almost got his leg run over by Ice Cube's Chevy Impala. During the scene, you can see him running to Trey's car and slipping and sliding on the street. Luckily, he managed to crawl out of the way in time. So, yeah.
Because he's legitimately like...
He's like, what the fuck is going on? Because at this point, everyone thought that they could shoot up the place. So, all they were told was, something's going to happen, get in the car and drive. They weren't told what. So, with everything going on, he got a legit reaction. Sometimes
the director's got to do that.
Uh-huh.
And it worked. So.
It did. Very, very strong moment in the scene.
Better to do something and just ask for forgiveness later than ask for permission, right?
Yeah, better to ask forgiveness than permission.
Yeah.
After the film premiered nationally, there were instances where rival gang members ran into each other in theaters, showing the film and engaged in shootouts. One actually happened at a theater that John and a friend were at. They were going to a theater and saw a bunch of Bloods in the theater waiting for the movie to start. They went outside and saw two Crips about to enter the theater. They tried to get security to stop them, but they didn't. John and his friend left, and as they were driving down the street, cop cars were driving up the street to the theater. It's not what you want.
No.
Many real Crenshaw Mafia Blood members were angered by the film's portrayal of their set. Members stated that they were portrayed as cowards rather than authentic gangsters.
Because they're the antagonists of the film.
Because, I mean...
Ferris and his crew, right?
Yeah, because, clearly everybody in the movie basically are Crips, right? So the Bloods are going to be looked at as negative. One's got to be. That's just kind of how it ended up.
Well, there's got to be a protagonist and there's got to be an antagonist, even if the protagonist is a gang member.
Exactly.
The antagonist is also going to be a gang member.
Yep. Now, this I didn't know. Ice Cube's second son, Daryl Jackson, uses the stage name Doughboy in real life as an homage to his father's portrayal in the film. Do it.
Yep.
So finally, in 2002, the United States Library of Congress deemed the film culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant and selected it for preservation in the National Film Registry.
I was going to say that's a little too late. You should have done it earlier, but
they have a lot of films to go through, man.
Yeah.
So the fact that they did it in, what did I say, 2002?
2002.
11 years after it came.
I guess
that's actually
that's
surprising.
Quick for them.
That is actually very quick for them.
That's a quick turnaround.
There are a lot of films that were made earlier than that probably should be in there that aren't. So that's actually really good because a 24-year-old made that.
So we begin Boyz n the Hood with the drive-by because that's the world where we live in this film. I think off screen. It's a black screen, and you hear it.
Yeah, you're hearing stuff. Apparently, the younger version of, I want to say Chris, is the one who said, my brother got shot.
Yeah.
That's who I believe it's supposed to be.
So we do start in 1984 with Everyone is Children.
Yes.
Trey Styles, and I believe... Well, we see Chris, Doughboy, and Rick later. The kids he's with at the beginning of the film, we don't see as adults.
Yeah, they're just random kids.
Random kids that he just hangs out with his friends. He gets in trouble at school for talking back to the teacher.
Yep.
And then she's like, well, if you think you're such a smart kid, why don't you come up and teach a class? He's like, okay.
Okay, I'll do it.
Comes up and has a class about Africa. And
yeah, well, it was a class about, I think, just like culture in general, and then he mentions like Africa, and it's like, did you know that the body of the first human was found in Africa, and that means we're all African.
Everybody, all y'all,
everybody's Africa. And this one kid fucking being the asshole is just like, I'm not African, I'm Crenshaw fucking Mafia, and I'm like, you don't understand what he's talking about, kid. Shut up.
And also, it's terrifying that a child is saying that he's in the Crenshaw Mafia.
That's not nearly as terrifying as what he says later on. Yeah. In a minute, like, the kid's like, like, he's making fun of him and shit. He's like, I'm gonna get my brother to shoot your fucking face off.
Yeah. Because again, that is the world that we're living in this movie.
That's a lot more terrifying than, fucking Crenshaw Mafia.
And what's scary is, this was accurate.
Yep.
There were children who were basically in... Like, I know they kind of joke about it in Meteor Man with the baby lords and stuff, but I'm like, no, that's a very real thing.
That's a real thing.
They had junior divisions for these.
They did have, I mean, every evil gang has their junior division, you know what I mean? Like, if you're a fucking evil gang of some kind, like, I think, not to disparage anyone, but, like, I think the Hells Angels have their fucking lower version.
Because gangs...
The Bloods and Crips do, and, like...
There's a turnaround.
Yeah, they want
There's a
more.
lot of death.
Yeah,
so
and they want to make you got to get them young. You got to hook them young,
which is unfortunate, but true. So he gets in trouble at school because they fight.
Yeah.
Reva gets a call from the principal, and it's a very
principal's a little condescending, to say the least. A little bit racist, a little condescending.
Yeah.
Because the first thing she
assuming
says,
that Reva's not educated.
Yeah. Well, the first thing she says is fucking like explaining shit to her as if she's a child. And there's just like, is there anything wrong at home? Do you have a job? No, it's not even that she... Do you have a job? Do you even work? I think is what she says. And I'm like, who the fuck... What the fuck?
Yeah,
who
she's
would
like, I'm
say
going
that
to school
shit?
to get my master's degree.
Again, this is very much coming from the perspective of a fucking white boy Canadian. Like, none of this... We wouldn't see this kind of shit. Yeah. It never happened. So this is kind of nuts. And she's like, you know, like, does he have a father? And she's just like, do you think we'd make him on our own?
Yeah.
Like, it's just because she says, like, he's going to go live with his father. Because she's just like, well, he can come back in 3 days. She's like, he's not coming back.
Yeah.
He's going to go live with his father. And she goes, his father? As if, again, like, as if he didn't have one. She's like, yeah, we do have more, you know? Like, we do have fathers, too.
Did
like,
you just assume he wasn't in his life?
Yeah, like, it is so fucked up. And we don't see this, thankfully, because this is fucked up. I don't like it. I'm already angry. We were like 5 minutes into the movie.
So she does take him to live with his father in South Central.
Mm-hmm.
Is that better?
The father, I think. Given like
it's not the environment, it's the person.
It's the
he's
hard
living
discipline,
with.
I think, is the idea behind it, because she clearly can sort of see that she's failing at discipline. Because the whole thing happens is that...
Like a boy needs his father.
Yeah, kind of thing. She says at one point, like, I can't teach him to be a man, that's where I need you, kind of thing. And because she has, like, she's trying to discipline him and whatnot, but, like, she'd written this thing of, like, you know, if, like, she had him sign it, where, like, if I, Trey Styles, pick a fight for the rest of the semester, I have to go live with my father. So clearly she made him do this, and he was down for it. And then still did it. So
if he finds himself in a reverse situation, instead of being with his mother during the week and his father during the weekend,
it's the other way around.
He's now going to be with his father during the week, and he's going to go visit his mother on the weekend.
Yeah.
This is where he hooks up with his friends and who we see for the rest of the film, as children and adults, Chris, Doughboy, and Ricky. Mm-hmm. We meet Furious. I think his first name is Jason. Jason Furious Styles.
We only hear the name Jason once, I think.
Yeah. He's referred to as Furious.
Everyone calls him Furious.
For the film. Furious Styles.
Which is ironically, because he's like one of the calmest human beings. So it's like, yeah, we're going to call him Furious. That's probably why.
Yeah. So he basically goes, yeah, you're going to clean up the lawn.
Well, this is the funny thing. Okay, so it starts out, he asks Doughboy and Chris to rake the leaves. And they're just like, well, how much you give us? He said, I'll give you $5 for all the leaves gone. And they're like, I can make more than that selling rock. And I'm like, wait, what? You're fucking 5. Shut the fuck up. But then he tells Trey to do it. And Trey's all angry and shit like that. And I'm like, motherfucker, I used to have to fucking rake the leaves, cut the grass. Fuck you.
So it shows him day to night. Mm-hmm. Really, like, he baked 2 big old bags of leaves, and he's all fucking... sweaty and stuff.
Dude, I once shoveled snow for fucking day and a half.
Which in this country is a losing effort.
Mm-hmm.
And then him and his dad have workout time.
Yeah.
They're literally clanging and banging.
Yeah, they are clanging and banging. And this is, again, where I get mad at the little fucking Trey, because he's just like, the stuff his dad's telling him to do, I'm like, motherfucker, I had to do all this shit. This ain't that bad. Shut up.
Yeah, but you were also, like him, just like, oh, right.
Actually, no, I kind of, I mean, I didn't like it. I'm not going to say, like, I was like, fucking, yay, I get to fucking clean the bathroom. But it was like, all right, I guess I got to do that.
But I like his father sets down, like, listen, you clean and everything, but I pay the bills, and I make sure you eat, and I make sure there's a roof over your head.
Like, you know, because he does the snotty child thing of, like, I'm doing all this. What do you got to do? He's like, I don't got to do nothing except pay the bills, put food on the table, pay for the house. Like, shut up, you little bitch. He doesn't say that, but I'm thinking it because I'm getting annoyed.
So they have workout time, and this is more where he's, you know, teaching him how to be a man again and asking him everything.
Yeah.
I don't think is this where he, like, sets up the sex thing, or is the sex talk, or is that later?
No, that's later, because then they go fishing, and he talks about it.
So there's a break and enter an attempt while they're sleeping.
Yeah.
And Furious grabs his gun, because I'm assuming you live in a neighborhood like this, you're gonna have
a gun.
You're gonna have a gun because B&E's happen.
You need to have a gun, and I do enjoy the gun he has. It's fucking Colt 45.
Oh yeah, it is
like,
he's
magnuming it up.
It is a gun.
Yeah, that is a gun to the nth power.
So he puts 2 holes in the door, almost the intruder's face.
Yeah, to the point where the guy freaked out so much he lost a shoe.
Call the cops. Cops come an hour later.
Yep.
Because they're not going to come to this neighborhood because it's not an emergency to them. Mm-hmm. And they really make the point of the cops roll up.
Yeah.
And it's a white cop and a black cop.
Yeah.
The white cop kind of takes...
White cop's pretty friendly.
You know, he takes a statement and then he leaves. And then it's the black cop.
Who kind of just goes into, like, fucking... like, You know, like
well, he was mad. He was almost mad that Furious didn't shoot.
Yeah, because he just sort of went like, "Well, did you get him?" And Furious looks like, "Do you see him on the front lawn?"
There'd be a body here.